Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of May the Force Be With Who, and it's going to be the World Enough and Time review. Now, I know I said that I was going to do the whole, basically the last 4 or 5 episodes of Who review, but I've kind of been busy with stuff with the band and personal stuff, so I'm going to kind of at the end jump in and tell you what I thought about those, but right now we need to get to part 1 of the series finale of Series 10, World Enough and Time. And damn, I mean, we start out with Capaldi or 12 coming out of the TARDIS. It looks like it's like Antarctica or the South Pole or somewhere very cold, and his hair's all big and poofy, and you know, the regeneration energy's all over his hands, and he's on his knees, and he's no, and then boom, that's how we start the episode. And I know we've had some kind of misleading regeneration scenes, basically from Lie of the Land especially, which I'll get to that in a minute, but we all know this is coming. Capaldi is regenerating. It's going to happen allegedly in the Christmas episode, and I've made my feelings known about how we keep having regenerations in Christmas episodes, but that's another story, never mind anyway. But it was a real kind of shocking start to the story. Now, there was a lot of shocks pretty much in this episode, and revolving around Bill, revolving around the Mondasian Cybermen, and of course revolving around John Simm returning as the Master. Now, a lot of people that have already reviewed this episode are, pissed off because, well, it would have been a bigger surprise if we hadn't known the Mondasian Cybermen were coming, or if we hadn't known that John Simm was returning as the Master. Well, we did, and yeah, I will agree with some of that train of thought that the Master reveal at the end would have been better had we not known it, but we've known it for 2+ months now, so it was still pulled off really good. But getting back to the beginning of the episode, the Doctor's still trying to do this whole not rejuvenating, but re-educating Missy, basically, and trying to turn her good, and basically her playing the role of Doctor Who, and all the little in jokes there when she kept saying, "My name is Doctor Who," and all the shots at Nardole and Bill about being, exposition and comic relief, or her disposables or whatever. That was really kind of cool. And Capaldi sitting in the TARDIS eating, the potato chips and going, "No, don't do this. Yes, do that." And Bill's apprehension the whole time about how she doesn't trust Missy and that this is a bad idea. And then when the blue dude shows up in the ship and basically shoots Bill with the big hole in her damn chest, it was like, so, and that's all within the first couple of minutes. And it was just, we started off with the regeneration shot, and then we end up with Bill getting shot, and that's all in the very beginning. And it was kind of like, holy shit, Moffat is not playing around. And then I really liked how they did the flashback when we came back from the commercial break of the Doctor trying to convince Nardole and Bill that, this is a good idea, the whole re-educating Missy and letting her try to prove to be good, and let her pretending to be the Doctor. And Bill just saying the whole time, "No, this is a bad idea. I don't want to do it. I'm scared of her. She's evil. And, promise you're not going to get me killed." And once again, the strength of this series has been the Capaldi and Pearl Mackie as 12 and Bill and their relationship. And just this whole foreshadowing with Bill not wanting to do it and being really trepidatious about the whole thing. And of course it leading to the big hole in her chest and basically the death of Bill. Now, say the death of Bill because we all know how Moffat is with killing characters and then they're miraculously back. Rory, for example. But then the episode shifts the whole idea of the 400-mile spaceship in front of a black hole where time moves faster at the one end of the ship and time moves at a regular speed, and Bill being reconstructed by Mondasians, as we learn later in the episode, and John Simm as the Razor character, or Mr. Razor. You kind of figure, you knew he was coming, and as soon as I saw him, it was like, oh yeah, that's John Simm. But at least it kind of harkens back to like the old Roger Delgado and Anthony Ainley masters that always had this penchant for wearing disguises. Even it's referenced when he finally comes face to face with Missy and says, "Do you still love disguises? I still love disguises." And it was a good little, not cameo, but, trying to be a diversionary thing about not letting us know that that's the Master. And I thought Simm was amusing, and the chemistry with him and Bill in that in those scenes were pretty good. And I've never been a huge fan of the Cybermen, but this whole thing about, you know, how they're starting out about replacing the organic components to survive, and the whole cloth faces, and the part where Bill discovers them and he's sitting there hitting the button, pain, 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 and the nurse comes in and just turns the volume down, that these Mondasians that are being converted to Cybermen are in, you know, basically a living hell, and all they do is turn the volume down so they don't have to hear it. So that was kind of creepy, and that did something for the Cybermen that really hasn't happened for me probably since I was, I don't know, 9-10 years old with the Peter Davison style Cybermen, is that they were creepy and they were scary, and that was kind of cool. Now, Capaldi and Nardole and Missy being trapped on the other end of the ship, they're not in a whole lot of the episode. They're there at the very beginning, and then they're kind of dispersed in, you know, in little spots. But it's basically, it's Bill and Mr. Razor / the Master, who their relationship going through the episode. And that's why when the final conversion scene takes place with Razor / the Master double crossing Bill and taking her into the operating theater, it's kind of like, you know, damn dude, she trusted you. And that held some emotional weight. And then at the end, with Razor revealing himself to be the Master to Missy, that we finally have a multi-master story, was just really cool. And it was cool seeing the two of them together. It's great to see John Simm back as the Master, and I'm really digging his goatee. Kind of, once again, another harken back to Roger Delgado and Anthony Ainley. It was a great episode, and the whole lead in where Capaldi has been wanting to face the Mondasian Cybermen the whole time he's been on Doctor Who. He's getting his wish, and the reveal that Bill is the first fully converted Mondasian Cyberman, and the shot with the tear in her eye and everything as the episode ended. It was a good episode. And I cannot wait for next week, The Doctor Falls, and the trailers for that show some more regeneration shots and all these different versions of the Cybermen. The John Lumick Cybermen are supposed to be there. The Iron Man Cybermen from Neil Gaiman's Nightmare in Silver are supposed to be there. So it's just going to be like a cyber fest. Now, real quick, to jump to the episodes that I've not covered on here. Really dug Oxygen, especially when I found out that it wasn't going to be zombies, but it was the suits controlling the dead people, because I was like, oh shit, another zombie thing. But that was really good. I didn't like a lot of the supporting cast, especially the really bitchy girl in Oxygen. But the story was real cool about capitalism controlling oxygen and charging people for their air that they're breathing. It was a good episode, and the whole at the very end with, you know, revealing that the Doctor was still blind, I thought was a great setup. Now, getting to the whole monk / blind doctor trilogy, starting with Extremis, some of the positive things I can say about Extremis is that I liked the concept that it was it was all a simulation about how what the monks would do if they took over, and how it looped back around to the Doctor finally using the sonic sunglasses for something important, and sending himself an email going, this attack is coming, and the lines about, you know, Super Mario leaving the game because, you know, he's tired of dying. And I really, really love the back-talking Nardole. I think that dimension to the character is awesome. I mean, the that he does and everything, sometimes for comic relief, is cool. But like when he's really going head-to-head with Capaldi and the look at me, that was, loved it. And I like the recurring joke that they started in Extremis with Bill and Penny on their date, and, you know, the Pope and all the priest showing up in Bill's bedroom, and then how they carried that joke back over into the pyramid at the end of the world with, it was, I think, the Secretary General of the UN showing up in Bill's bedroom when she's on her date. Now, getting to the second part of that, the pyramid at the end of the world, and I'll get to some of the reasons why I didn't like it here in a second. I liked the girl that played Erica, the scientist, and the thought that a world-ending event could happen, just something so mundane as scientists losing their glasses and having somebody else have to do their job, which basically led to the biochemical threat. but the monks were a problem for me. And I'm thinking the reason why the monks were a problem for me is because they were basically an amalgamation of the Weeping Angels and the Silence. And somehow they just didn't really come off as a big threat. And, you must invite us, or you must love us, or you must ask us. And it's kind of like, well, you look away from these people and they can't, that's the only time they can kill you. You have to keep looking at angels. Or if you look away from the Silence, you can't remember them. And it's all these concepts that Moffat comes up with. So the monks can only help or invade us when we ask them to. Man, they have to do it out of love. And I get the whole fact that, Bill was doing it out of her love for the Doctor is why she asked for help. But I just had a problem with the relationship that Bill and the Doctor have had over the course of the season so far. That this is the second story in a trilogy that's over halfway through the season, and Bill still hasn't put together that the Doctor's blind. That just kind of didn't work for me. And leading into the Lie of the Land, the whole thing with the Doctor pretending to cooperate with the monks, and then as a test for Bill, and it just, the whole trilogy just kind of left me a little flat. And, I thought Extremis was the best of the three. Pyramid at the End of the World was, had a good supporting cast though. And Lie of the Land, it was kind of like, yeah, okay. And the fake regeneration in Lie of the Land it just felt like clickbait. Now, moving on real quick to another one of the next episode, which I thought was probably one of the better episodes of the year, which was Empress of Mars. I dig the Ice Warriors. I've liked it since they've come back. I thought Cold War, which was also a Mark Gatiss episode, was a good episode. I know there are detractors of it, but I like how they've established the Ice Warriors as this almost kind of like on the same level as the Sontarans, about this, honor bound and, kind of feudal Viking society, and the effect of their sonic weapons turning people into little balls, I thought was really cool. And the whole concept of, Victorian British soldiers on Mars was a little bit out there, but it was good. It was a good romp. And when Gatiss is on, his romps are good. Like, the Crimson Horror. I really like that episode. That's another one that a lot of people are kind of on, but I think that's an example of good Mark Gatiss. He's good at writing rompy kind of, Doctor Who stories, whereas when he tries to get all high concept, such as like Sleep No More with the first person angle and the found footage and the whole sleep dust thing, ugh. Less said about that, the better. But I liked Empress of Mars. The next episode, The Eaters of the Light, was another kind of the supporting cast really didn't do a whole lot for me, except the one kid that was in the Roman Ninth Legion that kind of looked like the Balatik guy / Mark Ellis from Force Awakens. I don't know if it was the same actor. I've not really done my homework on that. But back to the whole World Enough in Time. I thought it was a great lead-in to the season finale. I can't believe we've only got 2 episodes left with Capaldi, which will be next week's The Doctor Falls, and then the Christmas episode, and then 12 is gone, and we still don't know who the new Doctor is. And there is a rumor out there that I found repeated several times that Missy allegedly is also going to regenerate either in the season finale this week or at Christmas. And this really absurd rumor that it's possible that David Tennant is rumored to be the new Master, which that would be kind of weird having a former Doctor play the Master, but I don't know. We'll have more on that if it actually happens. So I'm going to have a sip of my iced tea and my Doctor Who Tervis, and I'm going to take my damn Weeping Angel and my Silence and put them back up with the rest of my pops, and that is going to do it for today. Sorry this was a big, long rant about The World Not Enough and the episodes that I missed, but I've been pressed for time. Like my little Who shirt, by the way? Yeah. See. All right, I'm out. We had a gig Friday night at the 550 League of Fools on YouTube and League of Fools Band on Facebook. Keep up with us. We're going to be at the Dugout this coming Friday night, June the 30th at 9 p.m. So if you're local, come check us out. And until then, keep on keeping on, and may the Force be with who.